This is VSiN Daily Morning Bets. Here is your host, Josh Appelbaum.
Hello and welcome to VSiN Daily Morning Bets, a quick 15-minute podcast highlighting the top games and biggest line moves that bettors need to know about each day. Today is Thursday, April 20th.
Game of the night.
For the game of the night, we're going to look toward a Major League Baseball slate tonight that I would call a quality, not quantity night with only 7 games across the board. We're going to focus on a big NL Central showdown tonight at 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time between the Cincinnati Reds and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Currently, the Pirates are listed as a -160 home favorite, with Cincinnati a +145 road dog, and the total in this game is 9. Now going into this matchup, the Reds are 7-11. They just dropped 2 of 3 at home against the Rays. They got blanked yesterday 8-0 as a +225 home dog. Meanwhile, the Pirates, one of the best teams in baseball so far, really coming out of nowhere. They've been in the cellar for many years now, and finally a competitive winning team. They're 12-7 on the year. And they just swept the Rockies at Coors Field, winning 14-3 yesterday as a -125 road favorite. Getting it done for Josh's Sweats yesterday, I might add. And just to show you how really surprising and profitable the Pirates have been, because the public still sees Pittsburgh Pirates. They think they're terrible, but they're actually 12-7 this year. If you bet $100 on every Pirates game, be up almost $1,000 so far. That really speaks to kind of these soft lines and undervalued contrarian opportunities pretty much every time the Pirates take the bump. But anyway, looking toward this matchup here today, Cincinnati is going with righty Luke Weaver, who is making his season debut, while Pittsburgh is going to counter with Roansy Contreras, who's 1-1 with an ERA of 6. Now, what have we seen across the market here? Well, looks like respective money going with the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's right. This line opened with the Pirates listed as roughly a -145 home favorite, and the Reds a +125 road dog. And wise guys have laid the chalk here with Pittsburgh. That's right. They're laying it with the Buccos. We've seen the Pirates get steamed up from -145 up to -160. So good line movement in their favor here, telling us that the bigger, sharper bettors are going with the Buccos at home. The Pirates are receiving 79% of bets, but 86% of the money. And again, that bet split would signal both public money and a ton of respected money here on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Pirates have the edge at the plate. They're hitting .257 versus .239 for Cincinnati, and they have the edge on the mound with a 4.08 ERA versus a 5.40 ERA. And we have seen so far favorites this year. And again, this is the reason why I tend to bet a lot of favorites in MLB. It wasn't always this way. I used to bet a lot of dogs when they would bark much louder in the early 2010s. But we've seen since COVID, these chalk favorites have done much better. And that's really where we've tend to make our money. And as a sports bettor, I think you got to have your guiding philosophies and principles. Like in NFL, I'm pretty much exclusively betting dogs on the spread, but I've evolved in MLB over the last few years to incorporate more favorites. And why have I done that? Because favorites are winning at a higher clip in recent years. So far this year, favorites are 173 and 106, 62%. If you bet $100 on every favorite, you're actually profitable. You're up 5 units here with about a 2% ROI. Also, system here, favorites with steam in their favor of 10 cents or more. They're 61 and 43, 59% this year. Then also a favorite who missed the playoffs last year. So maybe it's a favorite that the public doesn't really believe in. So almost kind of another buy low opportunity here. But if you're a favorite who missed the playoffs last year, you're 70 and 37, 65% this year. You're up 12 units with a 10% return on investment. That'll also match with Pittsburgh here. Cincinnati, by the way, is just 4-10 as a dog. They're only 2-10 against righties, and they're only 1-5 on the road. So in this spot on the road as a dog against a righty, they've been a losing bet this year. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh, they've only been favored in 2 games, but they're 2-0 as a favorite. They're 8-5 against righties. Also, the Pirates, one advantage here in the series opener is that they would have the fresher bullpen. Over the last 3 games, their bullpen has only pitched 9 innings. In the last 3 games, the Reds' bullpen has pitched 15.1 innings, so a much fresher Pittsburgh pen. That means you can pull out your best arms here tonight. If Contreras gets in trouble, hopefully he doesn't, because I'm sweating Pittsburgh. But a quick hook with a lot of guys ready to go to come out of the pen. And then also run differential. Very simple way to just quantify how good or bad a team is relative to the rest of the league. But Pittsburgh is +19 in run differential. Cincinnati is -16. So I'm going Pittsburgh here. I like this line move toward the Buccos. I like the Pirates here. I got them at -160. In a big matchup, 6:35 p.m. Eastern Time in the NL Central. in Major League Baseball.
Best of the rest.
For the best of the rest, we're going to look toward another game here, 6:40 p.m. in the NL, between the Colorado Rockies and the Philadelphia Phillies. Currently, we have the Phillies listed as a -215 home favorite, with Colorado a +190 road dog, and the total in this game is 9. Now, going into this matchup, the Rockies are one of the worst teams in baseball. They're 5-14. They've lost 8 straight games, and they just got swept, as we just mentioned, by the Pirates at home, losing 14-3 yesterday as a +110 home dog. On the flip side, Phillies, they've also been disappointing. Big market club here, brought in Trey Turner, spent a lot of money, and made a lot of moves, went to the World Series last year, but they're only 8-11 to start the year. However, they did just take 2 of 3 at the White Sox. They won yesterday 5-2 as a -120 road favorite. In tonight's series opener, Colorado will send out righty Ryan Feltner, who's 0-2 with an 8.78 ERA. He'll be opposed by lefty Matt Strom for Philadelphia, who's 1-1 with a 2.13 ERA. So what have we seen across the board here? Well, it looks like pros are going Philly, and they're not worried about this big number. So we've seen Philly actually open as a -200 home favorite, and now the Phillies are up to -215. So a lot of respected money here pouring in on Philadelphia, telling us that the pros are not scared off by that expensive chalk price, still seeing value here in the Phillies at home against a really rough, and against a really tough, or what do I want to say, a really rough Colorado team that, maybe I want to say a woof Colorado team that hasn't performed very well this year. So even though it's a big number, pros are still laying it. Phillies are getting 85% of bets in dollars, telling us that both public and sharp support is in their favor. And again, you've heard me say this before, but to me, 85% bets in dollars, if this was the NFL, I'd be like, no way, I want to bet against that. But in baseball, typically what you're going to see is the public isn't really betting these games the night before and this morning, based off the percentages that we're seeing now. They're really, focused on work. It's a regular work week. They're going to bet these games when they get home from work. So it's really not as much of a pure kind of barometer of the public. It's more of telling me that both, pretty much the most amount of respected money in the big wagers, the majority of the bets are coming from respected bettors, causing that line move in their favor. So I'm much more concerned about an 85%, at like 6 o'clock before this game starts versus 6 a.m., where you haven't really had a lot of public action thus far. Also, this would match some of my favorite systems here in Major League Baseball. We just talked about favorites doing well just in general, 62%. But non-division favorites off a win, 69-37, 65% with a 5% ROI. We also have a non-division favorite with Steam, 10 cents or more in their favor. That's 48-28, 63%. We also have another system I have here called a Big Fave. So if you are a non-division favorite of -200 or more, you're 25-8 this year, 76% with a 6% ROI. So even though you're laying 200 or more, you're still profitable in this spot. Goes to show you how good these teams have been in this situation. Also, we have Philly, who's going to lean on their hitting. They are hitting 284 versus 252 for Colorado. The Rockies are just 3-10 as a dog, 1-4 against lefties, and 2-7 on the road. And I believe Colorado, I got to double check it, but I want to say they were the worst or second worst road team in Major League Baseball last year. And typically that's what you see with Colorado, where they're kind of competitive at Coors Field with the altitude, but you go on the road and they really struggle. So this would kind of be a fade Colorado on the road system here. And then also Philadelphia's bullpen, much fresher as well. Over the last 3 games, they've pitched 7.2 innings compared to 17.2 for Colorado. That is a huge discrepancy. You have a really, really taxed Colorado bullpen today versus Philly's pen, who's fresh and ready to go. So even though it's a big number, I'm going Philly here. Non-division system match, good sharp steam move. Want to bet against Colorado here. I think the Phils might be starting to heat up here as they've kind of treaded water here to start. So I like Philly in this spot. I got the Phils at -215. The return of Major League Baseball is the best time of year to become a VSiN Pro subscriber. Get access to hourly pro tips, best bets from VSiN experts, daily articles, power rankings, and expanded digital content and tools to help you become a better. Just go to vsin.com/subscribe for more information.
Josh's Sweats.
All right, here we are, guys, for Josh's Sweats. I already gave away a couple of them. I am officially on the Pittsburgh Buccos. That's right. You got to ask yourself, how can you lay a -160 with Pittsburgh at home? Well, this ain't your daddy's or your grandfather's Pittsburgh Pirates. This is a team that's pretty competitive this year. So got a good sharp steam move toward Pittsburgh. A couple system matches. Advantage here on the bump. I'm going to go with the Pirates, and again, wanting to bet against Cincinnati here. So I'm on Pittsburgh at minus 160. I'm also on Philadelphia. I like this steam move toward Philly. I know it's a big number, but as always, it's a bet to risk versus bet to win. So I'm on Philly at minus 215. I liken this to Tampa Bay yesterday, where had Tampa Bay on the money line, talked about that on the morning bets pod as well as follow the money. That was a big number. Actually got like minus 220. It closed like minus 260. But whole point being, it's always bet to risk versus bet to win. Anytime you're laying a minus number, especially a bigger minus number, you want to protect yourself, because if God forbid Philly loses today, I hope they don't. I hope I can get a winner with Philly here. But if they do lose, again, you got to hope for the best but plan for the worst. Then I just lose one unit like I lose any other bet. However, if they do win, I'll still be able to get about a half unit back here by laying about a minus 215. So always remember, with bankroll management, it's critical betting to risk, not betting to win. You'll still make some money on your winners, and you'll still actually make even more money here when you win on a dog with some plus money in the back end. So give me the Phils, minus 215. Got one more for you for Josh's Sweats. It's going to be an early game here in my neck of the woods. Boston Red Sox at home against the Minnesota Twins, a 1:35 p.m. Eastern Time showdown. This is the rubber match where both teams have split the first games. Currently, Boston is listed as a minus 120 home favorite, with Minnesota a plus 110 road dog, and the total is 9. Now, going into this matchup, Minnesota 11-7. They won yesterday against the Sox 10-4, cashing as a minus 135 road favorite. Meanwhile, the Red Sox, they did win the opener of the series. They won the opener 5-4 in extra innings as a minus 105 home dog. They're actually 4-2 their last 6, so playing decent baseball. Pitching matchup here, Kenta Maeda going for Minnesota, 0-2 with a 4.09 ERA, facing Tanner Houck, young righty for the Red Sox, 2-0, 4.50 ERA. So what have we seen across the board here? Well, sharp move toward Boston. That's why I'm going with the Red Sox. Give me the Sox at minus 120. Boston actually opened as around a minus 115 home favorite. We've seen the Red Sox get steamed up to minus 120. And in a vacuum, 5 cents, not a huge move. Definitely an indication of some respected money moving the number. But really what I like about this line move is not how big it is, but really based on the percentages that it looks pretty sharp. Because if you look at the percentages here, the public is right down the middle, 50-50. Don't know what to do. 50% of bets taking Minnesota, 50% on Boston. So anytime you're interpreting the betting percentages, obviously looking for, reverse line movement, steam moves, a line freeze. But what I would like to call here for this one, it's a 50-50 line move. So that means, in a vacuum, 50-50, if you have even tickets on both sides of a game, theoretically, a line shouldn't move at all. Tickets are even, right? No reason for the odds makers to adjust the number. However, the raw ticket count is different from kind of the quality of each bet. So, for example, if there are 10 bets on a game, you have 5 bets on Team A, 5 bets on Team B, you'd say, hey, it's pretty even, right? Well, technically by the ticket count it is, but what if the 5 bets on Team A are all $5 bets and the 5 bets on Team B are all $1,000 bets? Obviously, you're going to probably put your stock into those $1,000 wagers because they're more likely going to come from respected bettors getting down bigger amounts. So 50-50 line shouldn't move at all, yet 50-50, this line moved to the Red Sox, minus 115 to minus 120. So that tells me some respected money on Boston here. The Red Sox only getting 50% of bets, but 60% of dollars using our VSiN.com bet splits. So that kind of backs up the assumption here that the larger wagers are on Boston. System matches for the Red Sox, again, favorites 62% this year. Non-division favorites are 126 and 75, 63%. 7 units won, 3% ROI. And then the one that we talked about earlier, but a favorite who missed the postseason last year, 70 and 37, 65%, plus 12 units, 10% ROI. Kind of that, fishy, they're not a good team. How can I lay it with them? They didn't make the playoffs last year, yet you kind of want to bet against that public bias and actually buy low on these favorites who missed the postseason. Red Sox will be banking on their bats. They're hitting 240 versus 225 for Minnesota. They've scored 100 runs this year versus 77 for the Twins, so hopefully you put up some runs here today for the Sox. And then also Boston, 6-4 as a favorite. Minnesota, just 2-5 as a dog. So 50-50 bet split, yet lines going to the Red Sox. Give me the Red Sox here. I got the Sox at minus 120, along with Pittsburgh minus 160, and with the Buccos, or with Philadelphia at minus 215. Those are my 3 MLB sweats for today. But that about does it for today's VSiN Daily Morning Bets podcast on Thursday, April 20th. Reminder, we have so much going on right now in the sports betting world. I didn't even hit on NHL playoffs or NBA playoffs, but make sure you tune into the Market Insights pod later today. Might have another baseball play and probably incorporate some playoff action and hoops and for the puckheads out there. But with so much going on right now, let VSiN help you along in your sports betting journey, help you to make smarter bets. Easiest thing you can do to get more VSiN in your life is sign up for the free VSiN daily newsletter. Just go to vsin.com/newsletter, put in your email, hit submit, and then boom, every morning you wake up, when you get your bacon and eggs and your coffee going, open up your inbox, boom, we got a great newsletter letting you know what's going on in the betting world and at VSiN on a daily basis. And then, of course, if you're looking to take that next step in your sports betting journey, become a VSiN Pro member. Get everything we offer. Just go to vsin.com/subscribe. Sign up. We only have a great promo right now for only $9.99. Get your first full month of service, but then you get every best bet sent to your inbox multiple times throughout the day, a live stream of all the VSiN shows, all the articles beyond the paywall, and all those great DraftKings percentages as well, so you can know where the public is and where the sharp money is at for every game. And then, of course, if you can do something for free, you might as well do it. Follow us on Twitter for free. At VSiN Live, we tweet out great sports betting content all day, clips from all of our shows. You can follow me at Josh_insights. You can always email me as well, josh@vsin.com, with any questions about sports betting or anything I can do to help you along your journey. You let me know. But that about does it. Have a fantastic Thursday. I'll be on Sharp Money later today with my buddy Patrick Maher. Check out the Market Insights pod around 3 o'clock. But I wish you the best of luck. Enjoy a great Thirsty Thursday today. And as always, hopefully you can cash some tickets, because as the wise man of VSiN likes to say, that's what it's all about. Enjoy the sweats, everyone. Have a great day.